Do you know how to make fresh pasta from scratch? And is it worth it? Which one is better, the store-bought or the freshly made? Today I make two easy peasy Italian pasta dishes with a basic marinara sauce and we're gonna find out together. So let's roll! Okay, I start with the fresh pasta, and for that I need 100 grams or 3.5 ounces of all-purpose flour, 1 egg and a pinch of salt. Start to work on your dough with a fork or with your hands until you get a nice smooth ball. Then just put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes to rest. Meanwhile I have time to make the marinara sauce, but don't worry guys, cause it's gonna be super easy. The first thing I like to do is to select and wash some nice ripe tomatoes. Let's say 900 grams or 2 pounds of it. That will do the job. You can cut the tomatoes into chunks or basically in any shape, it doesn't matter. And yeah, you can also remove the skin of the tomato if you want to. Just cut a cross shape in the back of it. Pour over some hot water and let it rest for 2 minutes. After that you can easily remove the skin like this. But hey, if you ask me, it's not necessary. I like the sauce when it's more rustic and chunky, also with the skins inside of it. It's okay for me. When you have done with that, just grab 1 yellow onion and 1 big clove of garlic and cut them into small cubes. Get a medium-sized saucepan, pour in 2 tablespoons of olive oil and start to cook the onions and the garlic on medium heat. After a few minutes, let's throw in all the tomatoes, stir it thoroughly and positively do not add any water to the sauce. The tomatoes will release all of its juices almost immediately, so it won't burn, believe me. After that you can season it with some salt to taste. I use 1 teaspoon this time. Also some sugar, I use the same amount. Some freshly ground black pepper, together with a teaspoon of dried basil, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and a pinch of dried thyme. Stir it together and let it simmer on medium-low heat for 10 minutes, let's say. And yeah, if you're wondering, you can definitely use fresh herbs as well. It's totally up to you guys. Okay, but here we go. 10 minutes later the sauce is a bit more thick and all the ingredients are soft, so it's ready. I like to use my immersion blender for a short time to make it a bit more creamy, but again, it's not necessary. You can also leave it like that, or blend and then even strain it to make it extra smooth. It's up to you. I said I like it when it's a bit more rustic and, to be honest, when it's fast to make. Ah yeah, and don't forget to taste. Add more sugar, salt or anything that you might like. Alright, but back to the pasta. It rested 30 minutes and it's ready to roll out. If you have a pasta machine for that, you're lucky and you probably have a nice big storage place. But if you don't, like me, get your rolling pin and make the pasta thin. Cover it generously with flour and start the workout. You are looking for the same thickness of it like the store-bought ones. After you achieve that goal, cover its surface again with flour and roll it up. Get your sharp knife and just cut it into slices. Pappardelle or tagliatelle or whatever shape you like. After get a pot, pour in some hot water, season it with salt and start to cook the pasta. I start with the store-bought one because it needs more time to cook usually. 2 minutes later, I start to cook the fresh pasta as well. In total I cook the store-bought pasta for 7 minutes roughly and the fresh one for 5 minutes. I save a little bit from the cooking water from each pasta. After that I drain it and I don't want to use any extra pans, so I throw back the pasta in the same pot. Add some sauce to it together with a little bit of cooking water and toss it together in a few seconds applying medium heat. Okay, for the taste test I saved some of the cooked pasta without the sauce and then I played the rest. Of course, with the generous amount of grated Parmesan cheese on top. But let's see how it turned out. This is the store-bought one. It has a nice texture, but it's super freaky, elastic, you can see. The surface of it is very smooth and I'm afraid a little bit because therefore the sauce can escape. And you see, here's mine, the homemade version. It's not that pre-beaten perfect like the other one. It has an uneven surface and it's a bit more curly, you know what I mean. I have good feelings about this because the sauce can stick to these small gaps in the pasta. But let's taste it. I start with the store-bought one, and I tell you, it's already better than anything from the can because I made the tomato sauce freshly. The taste is good. You can get the tomatoes, the Italian seasonings, and the Parmesan really boosts the flavor. And it also has a nice texture. It is al dente, not mushy, not dry. But in the same time, it's not that creamy. Oops! It's not bad, but I'm curious about this one. Let's just... I try to get a bite size of it. Oh yeah, you can see it has more sauce stick to it already, like I said. Let's taste. Okay, the flavor is the same thing. It's not a surprise, but the texture is quite interesting. I'm surprised because until now I thought it's impossible to make fresh pasta al dente. But it's not. It has the perfect texture. I think an Italian nonna would be proud of me. I think both of them are good, but if you ask me, I prefer the homemade version because it's more rustic, more creamy, it's more rich, and it has a really cool texture. Guys, I know making your own pasta is not cooking 101, but believe me, it's worth a try. Or just get your children to make the pasta for you. It's not child labor, it's family fun.